Montana studios, this is NBC Montana Today.
Good morning, Montana. I'm Jason Hurst. As you pour your coffee and make breakfast, let's get you informed and prepared to take on your Tuesday. Coming up, Hellgate Elementary School District is asking for 2 levies. Just ahead, what this means for schools and for taxpayers. Plus, a bill phasing out the use of the Styrofoam in Montana restaurants reaches the governor's desk. How it works and the time crunch the governor is up against. Plus, what's on your child's lunch menu? What one nonprofit in Livingston is doing to make sure more nutritious beef is an option throughout the state.
It's a cloudy start to Tuesday across western Montana. We've seen those temperatures overnight fall into the 30s and 40s in southwest Montana, 36 right now in Butte and 42 in Dillon. A little bit more mild towards Kalispell and Missoula at 53 degrees right now. Cloudy skies remain common. The warmer temperatures, or at least more mild temperatures, are a result of an increase in moisture as our next storm system approaches. Temperatures staying pretty consistent in these low 50s for the next couple of hours. We will see those showers increasing as we get to the 10 to noon period. Temperatures staying again pretty consistent right around 53 degrees at noon. Now we are tracking a ridge of high pressure building into the area Wednesday afternoon through Friday. This is going to lead to well above average temperatures, but how warm is that mercury going to climb? I'll let you know that answer coming up here in about 20 minutes.
We start by taking a look at Montana's legislative headlines. And new from Helena, a bill expanding the eligibility of child care scholarships for workers in the child care industry is now awaiting the governor's approval. If approved, workers in the industry will be eligible for Best Beginning scholarships. The bill's sponsor, Jonathan Carlin, says it will help state child care facilities retain workers.
The median wage of a child care worker in the state is less than $30,000. And so if you have kids of your own, oftentimes they feel like they're going to be spending more on child care than they're going to be making in child care.
According to Stephanie Berner, the director of Fort Courage Child Care, there are 4 free slots available at her center for workers' child care, but it comes with about a $1 reduction in hourly wages, making it harder to retain staff.
It'd definitely help the 2 girls we have now to where they'd be able to make that little bit more, because if it was getting covered, they would make the same rate as the rest of the staff.
Berner says the bill would help ensure services can resume by boosting pay for parent employees. We will continue to follow this story and let you know what happens. Also in Helena, a House bill to end the use of Styrofoam in Montana restaurants is on the governor's desk. House Bill 477 would phase out the use of polystyrene in the state's food-related businesses. Styrofoam is a brand of the plastic material. The ban would begin in 2028 with no in-house food or drink being served with Styrofoam. Limitations then expand to not packaging prepared food like bakery items in these containers in 2030.
These are plastics that they're not manufactured in Montana. They are toxic to use. You can only use them once. They can't be recycled. And when they're out in the environment, they don't break down.
Raw meat, fish, and eggs are not subject to the bill. Those affected would have the option of applying for an exemption for a fee. Governor Greg Gianforte's office confirmed to NBC Montana that the governor received the bill. His spokesperson, Caitlin Price, says Gianforte will carefully consider the bill. And Governor Gianforte has 10 days from last Thursday to sign or veto the bill before it automatically becomes a law. Hellgate Elementary School District in Missoula is hoping voters will approve 2 levies next week. These are the first levy requests in a decade. A school leader tells NBC Montana's Bowen West why now is the time to ask for support.
In Montana, the school funding formula depends on student enrollment. Less students means less money. Virtually every school in the state is seeing fewer students. This dilemma is forcing Hellgate Elementary to ask voters for help.
We try really hard to go to the voters only when we need to.
The independent district put out a general fund levy that would help support programs like industrial arts, band, and orchestra, things the superintendent believes should be available to her students.
Because those are often the programs that when schools get in a fiscal crunch, those are often the programs that we see cut first. We don't want to do that.
Money from the safety levy would pay for building security upgrades, fund the program to help lockdowns, and secure personnel.
And the number one thing for us is that we employ a full-time school resource officer that is on our campus 5 days a week from 8 to 4. And so that safety levy will help offset the costs of her salary.
If these levies pass, homeowners can expect to see an increase of over $4 a year per $100,000 of their property's assessed value for the general fund levy. The school safety levy would mean an increase of almost $6 per $100,000 of a home's assessed value. Not everyone in Missoula County will pay for these levies, only those in the district's parameter.
It's important for voters to know Hellgate Elementary is separate than MCPS.
If you want to get all the details on these levies or anything else that's showing up on your ballot this special election, head on over to NBCMontana.com where we've got you covered. Reporting in Missoula, Bowen West, NBC Montana.
Producer Partnership is a nonprofit company based out of Livingston. It formed during the COVID year in an attempt to end hunger in Montana by delivering nutritious meat to food banks, schools, and senior centers throughout the state of Montana. The goal is not only to make sure people are eating, but getting healthy protein on the menu, and that includes schools.
A lot of these schools, the product that they get is such a high fat content, they can lose up to 25% of the overall weight when they cook it. It's just not a very good quality product. And the ability for us to be able to connect the dot from a producer back to their own school is huge. Because now we're starting to see people that are helping the schools that their kids go to, or their grandkids, or their, nieces and nephews. And it really allows people to have a much better connection to their own community.
And Producer Partnership wants the Montana ranchers who donated to be recognized. They want to see the names of the ranchers listed on school menus.
We encourage a lot of these schools when they get product donated to them to make sure that they put that on the menu. That this is the so-and-so ranch today, and that's what we're featuring. And, I really like it because then all the other kids go home and are like, hey, Johnny's family provided lunch today. Why aren't we doing that? And we get a lot of phone calls that way of people, like, oh, we didn't even know that this was an option, that it was available. And it really does help connect and get communities together.
And be sure to tune in tomorrow morning for the full story. And we now visit with meteorologist Mitchell Coombs, and we were talking about kids being fed at schools with nutritious beef, but they're getting ready for school. So how about that bus stop forecast? How do they have to dress? How do they have to be prepared for this morning?
Yeah, down in southwest Montana, we're going to start off in Butte. Just looking at a light jacket for now, but you may want the rain gear for later on this afternoon. We're going to see those temperatures right around 36 degrees for the next few hours, up to 50 around lunchtime, and 58 this afternoon. But those scattered showers will be on the increase. That is a different story up in northwest Montana. We are starting to see some of those showers roll in now. Looking at those temperatures staying pretty consistent in the low 50s through about midday, maybe starting to dry out a little bit into this afternoon. Still looking at those cloudy skies. We'll take a look at the extended forecast coming up here in about 4 minutes. Jason?
Thanks, Mitchell. And coming up, the Better Business Bureau released a new report. What did the data reveal when it comes to identity theft trends? Plus, a trout research project is now underway in southwest Montana. How you can help the next time you go fishing and the potential reward. But let's take a live look over Missoula above TV Mountain at Snowball. And look at that shot. That is absolutely gorgeous. And this shot is from the Community Medical Center weather camera. Meteorologist Mitchell Coombs has your day planner. That's coming up right after the break.